Okay, update number 2 here, and this is going back to the cheating in 2020 that allowed Dementia Joe to win. Anyone that thinks that Dementia Joe legitimately beat Donald Trump in that election, there's a bridge in Brooklyn I want to sell you, and I'm going to give you a really good price on it. First of all, and I'm no fan of Barack Obama, but do you really think that Dementia Joe ended up getting more votes than the first black president in America's history? Because that's what he ended up with in that election. So everyone that has a functioning brain is aware that there was cheating in the 2020 election and Trump got screwed. Because when they weren't able to cheat anymore, when we were being more hawkish on it and going after them and watching voting locations and patriots were going there and acting as voting watchers to ensure that everything was being done fair, Trump wins. Because he should have had a back-to-back presidency. It shouldn't have been split with Dementia Joe coming in charge. Now, Emerald Robinson, who's doing great work on Twitter, I found her through somebody else, I think Matt Morse, and she's doing great work. She has great information as well. She's come out with a couple of things. So first, Fulton County has been raided by the FBI, and they are grabbing all of their ballots, and they are finding that there were fake ballots that were counted as extras, over 300,000 that were put in the favor of Joe Biden. One of the first things that happened that is very interesting is this one right here, breaking. Former Dominion executive. Dominion are the digital voting machines. That company makes the digital voting machines that were used in the election. Now, there were allegations that the machines could be hacked or could be manipulated so that you could change people's votes over to somebody else that they didn't want. So you vote Republican, somebody is able to hack that and manipulate that, and they are able to change your vote to Democrat. Somebody had done they were on a show where they proved how it was possible in order to hack those machines. Now, Dominion ended up suing Fox News over Tucker Carlson saying exactly that. That was one of the reasons they fired him. What that cost Fox News for losing the lawsuit to Dominion. That there was false allegations that Dominion was involved in cheating or that you could cheat with their machines. Now, breaking. Former Dominion executive Eric Coomer has admitted to working with foreign actors in the 2020 election per court records. He was just deposed yesterday. A Dominion executive is now saying on the record in court, Dominion was involved in cheating in American elections. Now, apparently, Dominion Eric Coomer has changed his tale. New filing in Coomer versus Bryan reveals explosive admissions. We've just seen new public filings in Coomer versus Bryan, and what's now on the records indicates years of denials. Patrick Bryan reveals to Emerald Robinson that the filing includes acknowledgments that Eric Coomer had contact with foreign nationals about Dominion's voting system software. I've had contact with foreigners about Dominion source code programming. I've had contact overseas with people in the Dominion offices, Denver, that I knew to be foreigners. This is exactly what has been denied for 5 years. This comes as Coomer is reportedly asking the court to ban questions about Venezuela, Serbia, and China. Venezuela is now being exposed as someone who is that was fooling around in America's elections, in addition to Serbians and Chinese doing it as well. Now you've got Maduro that's been captured alive, and now you're seeing some of the 4D chess, if you will, that Trump plays as to why we've captured Maduro. Because maybe he can be questioned and admit that Venezuela was interfering in United States elections. Everybody who touches this kind of code is supposed to be cleared. They're not supposed to be a bunch of foreigners inside the code that runs our democracy. For years, public claims have said Dominion is strictly American. Now the filings say otherwise, and Coomer is pushing to keep key questions out of the deposition. Judge has yet to rule. This is developing, and she is talking about this. So we're finding that it's very possible that Dominion was, in fact, being used to cheat, and that's how they swayed the election in Dementia Joe's favor. Now we come to the FBI raiding Fulton County and getting all of these fake cheating ballots now.
Criminal search warrant.
And who's the defendant?
And the criminal search warrant is under seal.
Right.
So we don't even know who the target of the investigation is.
You cheaters are.
This is nothing but sowing the seeds of distrust. right? This is a full frontal attack on democracy. This is a code red in America, in Fulton County. We've seen it in Minneapolis, and now we're seeing it here in Fulton County.
So these are left-wing cheaters and scumbags who are upset that the FBI is there doing their job.
Big stories that we are following, and take a live look over the city of Atlanta at this hour as we continue to follow all of the latest playing out in Fulton County. That is, of course, where Atlanta is. Popping up this video for you on your screen as FBI agents executed a search warrant Wednesday at the Fulton County Elections Office near Atlanta. A spokesperson for the agency said that agents were, quote, executing a court-authorized law enforcement action at the county's main election office in Union City, just south of Atlanta. There are a lot of thoughts and feelings on all.
So we're going to continue on here. So I'm going to check out more of her stuff later, but she's got good information. FBI executes search warrant at Fulton County election offices in Georgia. Federal agents raided the Fulton County Elections Office in Union City on Wednesday morning. An FBI spokesperson confirmed that the Bureau was executing a court-authorized law enforcement action, but declined to release further details, citing a ongoing investigation. The search comes amid renewed scrutiny of Georgia's 2020 election, long a focus of President Trump, who recently said people will soon be prosecuted for what they did, following our reporters' questions a day prior. Now with FBI Director Kash Patel leading the Bureau and the Justice Department reportedly pursuing new lines of inquiry, today's raid is fueling potential accountability for those who oversaw the 2020 vote. This is a developing story. So, again, I'm glad this is happening. It should have been clear to everybody that there was cheating and then there were bad actors in that election. I think it's clear that Trump would have won. You know, he was in the lead. And then we all went to bed. I was doing a live stream at the time. We all went to bed around, many of us 1 a.m. or whatever. And then all of a sudden, very conveniently, they had a water main break. They lost power, and it was Fulton or New Jersey. Of course, they were blacking out windows, which was also illegal. You're supposed to be able to see into those and have access, and overseers are supposed to be able to see the count and see the ballots. And then they were walking ballots in from these vehicles showing up very conveniently in the dead of night. And all of a sudden you wake up to Dementia Joe as your new president. I mean, the guy was an absolute failure retard when he was Barack Obama's vice president. But for some reason, billions of Americans all of a sudden wanted Dementia Joe as their president. It's absolutely ridiculous. Fulton County, Georgia. Sources tell me they believe the deputy director of the FBI is on scene with DNI Tulsi Gabbard, expected to arrive soon. An FBI mobile command center has been set up outside the election warehouse, and several transport trucks brought in to retrieve documents. The FBI finally raided Fulton County's Elections Operations Center in Georgia. Why? Because not only did they count 300,000 fake ballots in 2020, but the ballot scanner tapes are fake too. It's all in federal custody now. And she's talking about this as one of her stories. So this is important to prove, and I'm hoping this is another reason that we have Maduro to get that proof and get that exposure that they did in fact cheat it. As we all said from day one, that's what I said as well. The usual suspects are scared and crying in public now. We already know that Biden did not win Georgia in 2020. Trump won it by at least 250,000 votes. Did Ossoff win his election in 2020? Did Warnock win his election in 2020? You know the answer. No, they didn't. They're all radical nut jobs, but they found a way to win anyway. And it's because the Democrats cheat, and they cheat with votes. And because they were doing the mail-in ballots and all this other crap because of COVID, they used it to turn everything to their advantage. So I'm looking forward to seeing more information coming out about this, and I'll be reporting on that when that comes out. All right, thanks everyone, and I'll talk to you all again real soon.